So today is finally the day. The 2026 modular building has been officially revealed. So in today's video, we're going to be going through and looking at all of the pictures, the multiple videos that have been included with the press release, and also the gift with purchase as well. And I'm going to go and show you guys my current city layout and give you guys predictions on where I think it's going to end up. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today, like I said, we're going to be looking at the brand new modular building. This is set number 11371. It is called Shopping Street, and this has 3,456 pieces and is going to come with 7 minifigures. Now, this thing has a lot of pieces in it, but it doesn't look that big. So let me explain exactly what I mean here. So starting to take a look at some of these pictures here. I have them on my tablet, but you guys will see them on the screen. And so this building here, I really like the angles of it. My initial impressions of this were absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed looking at this. It just is very pleasing to look at, and I really like the color scheme of this, the dark orange and the sand green, the dark tan, the white, and the dark blue. All look really good together. There is a hint of tan as well, and then a couple of other colors scattered throughout there. But for the most part, those 4 main colors I think look really good. And the dark blue is a nice accent as well, like with the tan. And moving through the pictures, you can actually see that this is a vertical box this time around. Typically, the modular buildings have boxes that are in landscape, so they're wider than they are tall. And I think that's to accentuate the height of the model here. It's not that tall, which we'll touch on in just a second here when we look at the back of the box, and it has the height dimensions on it. But it is still decently tall nonetheless, and I think they're trying to accentuate that here. And they did also place this next to the Natural History Museum, which is a pretty short building, so they are trying to really accentuate the height of this model here. So as you can see, this has a similar angle to what the boutique hotel had, and it's only on the one side. The other side is going to be completely flat up against another building, assuming you have a building that is tall enough to go against this. And it has this little alcove in the middle, which has a little statue on it, and I think that looks pretty good. And then the tiling pattern we'll see up close in just a second here. Now, the building obviously does come apart into the different sections here, and it looks like the 2 sides of the model are connected, which is good. I like that. It reminds me of the detective's office. I think that looks pretty good. And then, as you can see, obviously it has the Technic pin, so you can combine it to other buildings. And these are the 7 minifigures included in the set. It looks like you have a repairman, a shop owner, and then a couple of adults, a couple of kids in band uniforms, and then a different employee as well. And here's some of the interior shots of the model. You can see a bunch of instruments designs here. This is a music store, and then the other one is a furniture store. So we're going to be taking a look at all of that in just a second here. This is the apartment above the music store. To my understanding, the music store is 2 levels, and then the floor above that in the white building is the apartment. And then on the roof of the shorter building, which is on the right, you have this little outdoor garden here with a little birdhouse as well. And then the lifestyle photos here, I think really look good. And then there's another picture of the figures again. And the figures do both come with hats, which I really appreciate. So if we go back to the hat in the store there, you can see the purple one in the background. I had initially assumed that there was only one of those hats, which is why I didn't really comment on it. I figured it would just be something to keep on display. But seeing as there are 2 of them, at least 2 of them in the set, both of the kids that are wearing the band uniforms can have a hat. I think that's awesome. I think that was a great inclusion. And then again, there's just more lifestyle photos. This is what I actually really wanted to highlight here. So this model here has a number of interesting angles on it, and I think these all look really good. And surprisingly enough, the angles of each building are on the same grid, and I think that looks really good. It makes for a clean look. And you can see how the angles come together in this image here. Now, moving our way to the final picture in the press release here on their website, which is this one, which is the back of the box. And as you can see, like I said, the shopping street is next to the Natural History Museum. This is to accentuate the height of the building. Obviously, they're trying to market this set in particular, so they're trying to make it look as good as possible. And so this is just how they chose to do it this time around, which I think is perfectly fine. The museum is a naturally short building, so they're going to use that to their advantage in this model here. And zooming in all the way in the top right of the box here, you can see that it's obviously 10 inches wide. It's on a standard base plate, but the height from the base plate to the very top of the spire here is 14 inches. And for reference, the Palace Cinema from the base plate to the top of that roof is about 15. So it is right in that range of height. It's not going to be an outlier by any means, but I do think that it is going to stand out nicely in a city. Now, as for the videos, you can see it spin around here, and to pause it on the back, I just want to show you guys what this looks like from around the back. I think that this is a really clean building, and there's not a lot of ugly colors showing through, which I do really appreciate. I think that looks really good, and I appreciate all of the cleanliness of it. I like the detail, like the vines and the windows and things, and I also like what looks to be the dumpster as well. And there is a chair piece sticking out of the dumpster, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a piece of clothing or fabric or something, unless it is actually just a chair from the furniture store. I'm not totally sure about that, but it looks like there is a few flowers and other things as well. I wish the dark blue from the roof on the white building had continued throughout instead of it being dark gray along the back. That's my one gripe with how the back looks, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. So we can just continue the spin all the way around the rest of the model here, and I'll give it to you guys one more time so you guys can see the entire thing spin here. But now we are going to move on to the lifestyle video. And so as you can see, the tiling pattern here, and then the guy is just assembling the building as you would. And I think the build itself looks really good. I like the prints. I'm assuming everything is printed in the set. Typically, modulars have all prints in their sets, so I think this is going to be really, really well executed. And I just hope the print quality of those prints is good as well, especially the lighter colors on the darker colored plastic. That is something to be worried about. But overall, this set here, I think, looks really good. It does look really similar to the Boutique Hotel and also the Assembly Square. The Boutique Hotel, obviously, because of the angles, and then the Assembly Square because of the alcove in the middle where you have that little statue. And so I think this looks really good. I'm very excited to get my hands on this. Obviously, I will be buying this on day one. Obviously, I will be building it for you guys and reviewing it. But this is $250. That's a near 10% increase in price from the previous modulars, namely the Tudor Corner, the Jazz Club, and the Boutique Hotel. So now that we've gone through and taken a look at the set itself, I think there are a number of interesting building techniques here, and I want to highlight a couple of those and also some nice part usage as well. Obviously, it's going to be easier to do that in person with the set in my hands, but I'm not sponsored. And I'm going to have to go to the Lego store on day one and spend $250 on this. But I think that there are a number of different things in here just from what I've seen off the bat here. So right away, you can see on the dark tan building here, you can see those new tulip pieces in a new color, which is phenomenal. Previously, at least to my knowledge, before the 2026 sets have started getting revealed, I think it was only yellow, pink, and lime green were the only three colors for the tulip piece, but that is now in a new color, which is great to see. I like the flippers on the back of the chair there. I think that's a nice design as well. And then one of the other nice part usage here, as you can see, the dumpling piece in the top of the window. I think that's a phenomenal piece used right there. And then also all the sideways building techniques to make the windows here, I think look phenomenal. And I think the dark tan side of the modular here looks fantastic. And there are also a couple of other nice pieces in here, like the 1x1 stud with the bar underneath attached to the 1x1 round tile with the 1x1 peg sticking out of it. I think that looks phenomenal as well. And then moving over to the sand green building here, I like the use of the Technic pieces around the window and the door. I think that looks good. Those are typically used in botanical sets to make the stems of the flowers. And the actual round part of the front of the store, I think looks pretty good. It does remind me a lot of the Boutique Hotel, even without the angle in it. So I'm not going to highlight that too much, but I do appreciate the gaps in the model, or I guess the lack thereof, because they actually took the time to get the brackets and the rounded slopes and connect them in such a way that the gaps look really, really minimal, which I do really appreciate. But my favorite part usage in this entire set, which is actually kind of a new piece, but kind of not, they are bringing it back. As you can see here, this is a 1x2 sand green garage door brick. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this so important? Well, it only ever came in one set in sand green, and that was the Green Grocer. And that set came with like 50 of them or something ridiculous, and people are selling one brick for at least $5 a piece. So now it's finally feasible to make the Green Grocer and not have to spend $200 on just those little grooved bricks. So I'm super happy about that. Hopefully Lego has these on their website, on the Bricks and Pieces service, sometime in the very near future. I am extremely excited about that. I can't wait to get my hands on those because I have been wanting the Green Grocer for well over a decade at this point. So I am really stoked about that. And as you can see, the tiling pattern in here, I'm not sure if it's sand blue, medium blue, or light royal blue, or the bright light blue. I'm not sure what color of blue is in the tiling pattern there, and then also the olive green. I don't know how well those match together, but it is interesting nonetheless. So I'm personally not too keen on that, but I do think that what is there is pretty good, and it would be easy enough to swap out. I do have a number of different colors of the quarter round tiles, so I could swap that out if I get it in person and I decide that I don't like it. But other than that, the last building technique that I want to highlight here is actually the top of the spire here. As you can see, it has some gold minifigures in it and also some bars as well. And I just think that this looks really good, and it looks like it has a gold Harry Potter wand at the top as well. And I think that looks great. And it's using a lot of those F1 collectible minifigure series roll cages, or the bar that covers the head of the driver. I'm not really sure what that technical term for it is, but it looks like they're using a ton of them around the round portion of the building and also around the edge of the roof as well. I think that looks really, really good. And also the little plume pieces in conjunction with the white version of that element as well, I think look fantastic. And so that is all of the building techniques that I wanted to highlight in this video here. Again, I will be going through in more detail once we actually get the set in person. But as you can see, upon scrolling down through the rest of the website here, you can see that there is actually a gift with purchase with the model here, which is fantastic. I am extremely happy about that, especially since the price of the building has gone up. And this is actually not specifically tied to the modular building. Instead, it is solely focused on just spending $200 or more, which I think is better. So if you are buying things from different themes like the Stranger Things set, or if you're just buying a bunch of stuff, it is nice to get a freebie regardless. And so this is supposed to last from the 1st to the 11th. If it's actually going to last that long, I'm not totally sure. I honestly doubt it. But looking closer at all the images here, you can see that the car actually looks phenomenal. I really, really enjoy this. I think it looks really good. And that is nice to see since it is the bulk of the gift with purchase here. I think it looks great, and I can't wait to get my hands on this as well. And I can't wait to add this to the city. I think it looks great. As for the silly hat concept, I'm not really sold on that personally. I would have rather have just had the car and then maybe a tiny side build or something. But I do think that what is here is good, and you can always use this in a different part of a city or in a different mock or something like that. So I think this is going to be pretty cool to add to the city, and I can't wait to do that. And here you can see the car next to, and the whole gift with purchase next to the shopping street here. I think this looks good, and I am really excited to get my hands on it. But with that being said, let's turn our attention over to this current city layout, and I'll show you guys a couple of my ideas as to where I think this set is going to look best. All right, so keeping that visual of the shopping street in mind, we're going to go through and start to look at some of the more recent buildings, and we're going to start there and then see how they look next to the shopping street, at least in theory. We already saw how the museum looks next to it, and I don't think that's a good fit. Maybe on the other side where the shorter building is next to the museum, I think that could maybe work, but we'd have to test it out and see. Now, the Jazz Club, going back to the year before, the Natural History Museum, I don't think is going to work in either scenario. It could maybe work if the shopping street was here, and then the Jazz Club is on this side, but if you have the shopping street here, and the Jazz Club is on the other side here, then I think that white building is going to be too tall when compared to this. I would be pretty curious to see how they line up the building next to the Tudor corner here, because this is the one that came out last year, and I do think that there is a lot of potential for them to look good next to each other. So I'm pretty excited to get my hands on it to compare those two. But if I had to place a bet on what building I think would actually look the best here, it would actually be the detective's office. I think having the detective's office on the left or the right side of the shopping street would look phenomenal. Obviously, the detective's office is a beautiful building and it's going to look good next to everything. And so you can't really go wrong with that option. But I do think that the left side of the detective's office being shorter helps match with the right side of the shopping street. And then the vice versa, the taller side of the detective's office matches with the tall side of the shopping street. I think that could look really good. And then also the bookshop, I think, is another one that could work as well. I have to test fit it and, try it out, which I will be doing, like I said. And so I think that could definitely be a viable option. But as for other buildings that I think I'm just going to go on a whim and say would look good next to this, I think the town hall might actually work pretty well here. This is very, very tall, and it is pretty hard to place in some instances because it is so tall, and a lot of buildings are short when compared to this, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But I do think the shopping street could look really good next to the town hall here, specifically that white building on the left, the taller part. I think that could look really, really good here. As for some other recent buildings like the police station and the boutique hotel, I don't think either of those would work with the shopping street. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just don't foresee either of those combinations working, like having the shopping street here versus having the shopping street here next to the boutique hotel. And then also the same could be said for the police station. I really don't think it's going to look good on the far side next to the sand green part. It could actually maybe look good if you have the shopping street here and then the police station to the right of it. That could maybe work, but again, I'd have to try it out and see. But in terms of my expectations of it, those are pretty low. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this informative or at the very least entertaining. Let me know what you guys think of this new modular down in the comments below. Are you going to be buying it? Is this something that you're going to wait for a sale on, or are you going to pass entirely? Let me know down in the comments below. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out when I get that set here in the studio and I review it for you guys and I compare it to all of these buildings. But seriously, thank you guys again for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.